Hey guys, Jamie Bond, Fish Blue Water. We're here at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. I'm with Tad Witten at the Mercury booth. And Tad, I gotta tell you, the talk of the industry right now is this monster V12 600 horsepower engine behind me. I have been, you don't know this, but I have been on the Mercury Pro staff for 25 plus years now. And I feel like this is probably one of the most exciting times that I've witnessed here at Mercury Marine. So tell me and tell all the people who are going to be watching the video about how this came to life and all about this engine.
Well, thanks, Jamie. We're extremely proud of this motor as well. It was, you know, about 10 years worth of work by a team of engineers. We cannibalized a lot of things that we already had from our head from Verado,
Sure.
which is a dual head cam 4-valve, which reduces maintenance. We've got our counter-rotating props and a drive that will swivel, and that allows us to keep these motors 27 inches on center. But this isn't a pair of V6s tied together. This is a full V12 motor that we designed.
Wow.
It's a sleeve block. It's done in our die-cast molding process. So we're doing 600 horsepower out of it. But it's a couple of cool things. It's 87 octane fuel.
That's all it requires.
1030 oil. So
Okay.
you can use a low grade oil. It's not used. You don't have to run expensive. You don't have to run expensive spark plugs on it. So there's the maintenance is almost nothing.
Okay.
So on around the corner to do the water pump, you don't have to drop the lower unit. The water pump is right here. So we take 4 screws out and we change the water pump. So a lot of the drive is very similar to our Zeus with a rack and pinion system.
And I would imagine that's beneficial, because a lot of the boats that these things are going on are boats that remain in the water, you know, on big lifts. So I'm imagining they're not getting hauled out all the time.
Well, that way we're not forced to pull it up. So again,
Right.
the serviceability. Well, to talk about, I'm going to skip ahead. So the serviceability, everything can be really done for the first 1,000 hours through the hood. So you pop the hood up, you can check the engine oil, but you can also, if you don't want to check the engine oil on the dipstick, it's on your dash on your vessel view with an electronic dipstick. But again, for the first 1,000 hours, the first service is 200 hours.
Wow.
First oil change, 200 hours. They can all be serviced. So the transmission, the final drive, and the engine oil can all be changed with its filters with that hood opened
And so
up.
after the 200 hours, in between there and the 1,000 hours, how many hours are we servicing the motor?
Every 200 hours.
Every 200?
Every 200 hours,
Okay.
we're servicing the engine. So again, we're really proud of it. Again, the cowlings is easy to be able to access. We started that with our V6 V8 with the small latch, but with this motor we just needed a bigger latch. So moving around to the transmission. So a 2-speed transmission. So a motor is manufacturing horsepower and it's making torque.
Right.
To get up on plane, you need torque. To get top speed, you need horsepower. So we're changing the gear ratio.
That's the purpose of the 2-speed, because for the novice mechanical person like myself, which I'm sure many of the other consumers in this industry are, I was curious to understand what the purpose of that was.
Yeah, so the reason is obviously when we need torque, the transmission is able to take a lower gear ratio to get you up on plane. Once you're up on plane, 3,800 RPM, it's going to switch to top speed, to second gear. You're not even going to feel it. You're just going to see your tack move. So then the RPM is going to drop. You're going to have more speed and more power, consuming less fuel.
Wow.
It's a wet clutch. It's a wet clutch system. We actually at Mercury, we cut the gears, we do the castings, and ZF does the final assembly for us. But it's right in the midsection. Remember, you can see that. But we've got the ghosted motor on the top, the transmission, and then the final drive in the bottom.
Okay.
So we're running counter-rotating props, very similar to our Bravo Mercruiser system. But again, it's just an unbelievably quiet motor. It's the quietest engine we make. Even more quiet than our 250 and our 300 old Verado, and even our new four-stroke.
Well, listen, I was over in water, and I was walking by the Valhalla booth, and they were doing a demo, and there was 4 600 horsepower V12s running, and you couldn't hear them.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. It was impressive.
It's unbelievable. And now our new controls. This is our new Starfish control, which isn't even really out yet, but we're combining all of our start and stop buttons, our active trim, your one lever controls. All that's going to be into one lever now. You can reach your hand through and then do your individual trim tabs on your multiple engines. Joystick piloting is all integrated, so the new V12 can also be joystick with skyhook and auto heading track waypoints.
Very
So
cool.
we're trying to make things more comfortable and more into one place than having multiple things cluttering up the dash. Other than that, we are so proud of this motor. It comes with the same warranty as everything else: 3-year corrosion, 3, 5, or 8-year bumper to bumper warranty. So the same warranty you can have on our little 75, you can have on this new V6.
So the buyer has the choice of 3, 5,
has
or 8
the choice
years.
of
Okay.
the full warranty. Probably. We also make this in a V12 500 C Pro model, which is more for commercial application. Pretty much same motor, is just detuned a little bit, more for the commercial application. 1,200 pounds, but again, 87 pump fuel, straight gas. Serviceability is so simple.
This is the part that's the component that's blown my mind, which is the lower unit that actually rotates and does all the work on the steering side, right? While this, you know, the upper body of the engine is stationary. I mean, that's it's incredible.
So we're able to move 250 pounds in the bottom of the lower unit instead of moving the full 1,200 pounds of a motor times 2, 3, 4, or 5 or 6 motors, because we know eventually guys are going to be hanging 6 of these or 5 of them on the back of boats. But again, it's so impressive. I'm so humbled to be part of this team and this operation. There's a mass of people working in Fond du Lac and engineering at the factory that don't need to be forgotten about this.
Exactly, engineering and production has a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, the exhibits people that do things at Mercury. We're just so proud to be part of that American company. At the end of the day, this is American muscle.
That's awesome.
It's American made and it's American muscle. We're very proud of that.
And so, if I'm a buyer that's in the process of building a boat that these engines are really designed for, when are these going to be available in the retail market for the consumer?
They're actually available. They're available now. It's just manufacturers had slots that they bought of their orders. So if there's a slot that's available for sale, you might be able to buy into slot. If not, you're going to get on the list. Unfortunately, that list is long for everybody. I don't know whether you're buying a 75 horse, or you're buying a 300, or you're buying one of the 600.
The nature of the industry today.
But you know, it's a great problem. Everybody's finding back again that you know, boating is the best place to recreate with your family. It's just they kind of forgot about it with COVID. It's kind of forced us all to get back out to the basics, and that's spending time with our family on the water.
Perfect. Tad, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And for those of you watching this video, today is Friday at the boat show. You have the rest of today, all of Saturday, and Sunday to get out here and take a look at this beast in person. It is amazing. Congratulations to Mercury and Jamie Bunn, Fish Blue Water. We'll see you for the next video.